524週司会のパラダイス山本です。さて今週は春にふさわしい爽やかなこのメロディーから It's a beautiful day ピチカート5の皆さんです。どうぞ。
Good morning, everybody out there in the vinyl community. Kimbo here with Vinyl Addiction. Hope everybody out there is doing well. I'm here to submit an entry for Brad's H2Vinyl 350 contest. Brad was kind enough to extend the deadline to midnight tonight, I believe. So hopefully I'm sneaking in under the wire here. So let's get going. There's 3 questions. And starting off with 3 albums that celebrate narration. So my first selection is, you heard a little bit of it in the opener there, but it's Pizzicato 5, a band out of Japan. Had a lot of success over there in the early 90s, and then they were picked up by Matador Records somewhere around the late 90s and re-released some of their material and put out a few, I think, a little bit of new material. And here's the inside. But real good electro pop music from those guys. My second selection is Mr. MF Doom here. Sorry, I'm showing a couple CDs here because I don't have the vinyl for these. You know, Mad Villain always has themes to his records, and on his MF Doom record here, it kind of has a cartoon kind of He-Man. I think there's a lot of He-Man. If you remember that cartoon from the 80s, I believe, sampling on this, and I'll play a little track of that for you also.
Now, who will be the first to tell me of a past adventure? Why don't you tell him about the time we faced Doom?
All right. Well, as I remember, Doom had threatened the world leaders with destruction of every major city on Earth. Headquarters.
Good evening.
Would you believe it? It's Doom on the phone.
What's on your evil mind? Hold your insulting tongue and mark my words well. I have plotted my revenge on you. Now I shall have it. Bid farewell to your friends.
Okay. And then my third album is the Masters of Narration, who almost always use narration on their albums, is Iron Maiden. And I've selected Dance with Death here. Let's see, in the song Dance with Death, there's about a 1 to 2 minute opener of just narration before that 8-minute song starts. So Iron Maiden, Dance with Death there. Okay, moving on to the next question, 5 albums that I have not shown before. Okay, starting with, our first one is Charlie Majera. I recently picked this up and I'm trying to find out more information. A little bit hard to find information on Charlie there. I believe he passed away a few years ago, and this is a release of a collection of his songs that were not released previously. And as you can tell from the cover there, he kind of looks Tom Waite, and his music is a little like Tom Waite's music. Very stripped down vocals inside, and he's on the Numero Group Records there, out of Chicago there, and some of the lyrics, some of the vocals are not in English. I believe it's Hebrew. I'm not totally sure, don't quote me on that, but good album. I like what I've heard from a fairly recent pickup, so good stuff so far. My next selection is the Dukes of Stratosphere 25 o'clock, and this is a side project of one of the members of XTC, a little bit more psychedelic than the usual post-punk new wave sound of XTC. I actually really like this. I like it better probably than most of the XTC works. Came out in 1985, if I didn't already say that. But real neat album. That was also a fairly recent pickup, and I'm really enjoying that. The next selection is from a band called the Polar Bear Club, out of Rochester, New York, I believe. Active 2005 through 2013. They put out 4 albums. This is their first one. Kind of post-punk, post-hardcore. Just a way of saying these guys rock pretty hard. Good stuff though, and the vinyl, I'm going to show the vinyl on that one is kind of the swamp green here. It kind of matches the record, so it's kind of a neat little set there. I also have their 4th album, their last album. There you go, right there. This one's a little more melodic rock and roll, straightforward rock and roll. So that's Polar Bear Club out of, I think, Rochester, New York area. Number 4 on items I haven't shown before is, this is a Portland, Oregon band, so somebody out of the Northwest here, called the Chromatics. And did I write down? So this is their 2007 album Night Drive. They're an electronic band out of Portland, as I said. Let's see, female vocals, pretty good stuff if you like that electronic type music. And I think this is on this lovely purple vinyl here. And then the last album that I have not shown before, and Brad, your symbol on your channel is the Chemical Brothers, and I haven't delved into your back catalog enough to know exactly the meaning behind that, but it just reminded me that I could show Chemical Brothers, which I haven't shown before, and I believe this is Push the Button, their 5th studio album, and this is what's in the background. Good album. I don't know if it's as good as some of their earlier works, but good stuff. I have several of their CDs, but this is the only thing I have on vinyl. But good stuff. Again, electronic music, if you like that kind of thing. So those are my 5 items I haven't shown before. Now, the last question is, wish I had but don't have. And that kind of goes back to one of my narration ones, and that's, I also have more CDs of Pizzicati 5. I want to get more of their stuff on vinyl. I don't have really anything of theirs on vinyl. It's kind of hard to find, especially the early Japan release stuff is the really good stuff, and it goes for a significant amount of money. But trying to get more of that on vinyl. The other thing is I also really like 60s and 70s kind of Thai funk, Thai disco, and Korean disco stuff like this. I'm always looking for this kind of stuff. Kind of hard to find. There's a Korean example here. Good stuff. The Thai stuff, there was a big kind of surf music movement there in the late 60s, early 70s, where you find a lot of kind of Thai surf music, funk stuff. So that is what I had for what I'm looking for stuff. I don't know if this is a congrats to you on 350. I think you're up around 400 subscribers, Brad, but anyways, thanks for having this contest. Hopefully I get in under the wire, And that is about it for now. Hopefully everybody in the vinyl community is staying safe and everybody else. And we'll see you in the next video. Keep spinning the records.